Music listening has been shown to reduce anxiety, stress, and patient tolerance of procedures. And it also concluded that music may also have beneficial effects on inflammatory biomarkers.
We'll dive deeper into the power of music healing for women in the stage of perimenopause and menopause, so you can feel relief from pain you might be experiencing and feel better. Today, joining us is a renowned, talented creative media producer and music artist, Stewart Selkirk.
I feel absolutely honored and flattered by that. Music is my life's work. From a very personal experience, I think many of your viewers will also have had many health issues. I think it's part of life that we go through all kinds of stages and phases, and some of those are joyous and some of those are immensely challenging health-wise. From a very personal standpoint, music has been an immense part of my life from being a very small child. As a small child, I gravitated towards music because it just felt wonderful. A lot of the sounds and a lot of the absorption that I was experiencing just felt good. So I think naturally we follow things that are not painful, but we still get pains. What I was finding is that in times of difficulty or low mood or whatever it was, as a child, music was my passion and uplift and a part of a kind of early form of healing. Music, without any doubt, is a profound healing force for good. And as we touch upon things like pain, and obviously perimenopausal women, I'm aware of the kind of symptoms, and the list is very long, but it does involve pain. It involves mood swings. In a scenario, any health scenario, any life-changing scenario, which obviously perimenopausal is, but equally so cancer or major back injury or anything that affects one's life in a very negative way, music can be an immensely healing part of the process of recovery.
So today, ladies mostly have perimenopause or menopause symptoms. They sometimes think, okay, I lost control of my body, or my body is not feeling like I used to feel. So this is not me. Or some ladies say, I want to get out of this body. We are looking for all these alternative medicine type of solution. And what we bring here to the table is the power that you talked about, really the healing effect of music.
Apart from my personal experience, I think it's always good to have much wider reference. And I've made a few notes. The conclusion to that study from the National Institute of Health was that music listening has been shown to reduce anxiety, stress, and patient tolerance of procedures. And it also concluded that music may also have beneficial effects on inflammatory biomarkers. I can verify that for back pain. And in intensive care and post-operative patients. But obviously, as with all human knowledge, it's an ongoing process of investigation and discovery.
I didn't experience any perimenopause or menopause symptoms, but during my 30s, I went through difficult period. I think the bottom of recovering from a miscarriage. And I really wanted to have the children. So I did a lot of like infertility treatment. And it was deeply emotional and painful time for me. And amidst that sorrow, like deep sorrow that was still inside of me, there was like one song that light up my heart. It's a beautiful piece of music you might probably already know, Secret Garden, from the Norwegian, like Irish music duo. And when I heard that music, it just grabbed my soul at the deeper level, and it brings me tears and really the cleansing and relief.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
that as a human being, that kind of resonance is working for our bodies to really change the mood suddenly and shift our focus to a more enlightening state.
Thank you for sharing that. That's immensely powerful. It's almost a sacred act to honor yourself and heal yourself by adopting this deep listening approach. In a way, I would describe it as surrendering to soundscape.
What a beautiful phrase.
I would say that the essence of music is a true reverence for silence and peace. I would say that it has to possess the authenticity of birdsong or the sound of the breeze through grasses. It has to touch you as if you were being refreshed by nature itself. I think that it's not just about catharsis, it's about feeling the joy within and the joy without. So it's a kind of
Mm.
reciprocal appreciation of experience. Music is an experience, it's a movement. It moves from silence with respect and reverence, hopefully. Otherwise, it is noise.
Yeah.
And it's an invitation to really deeply enter into the quality of listening. And the
Yeah.
gifts that can be found in that depth of listening are as deep as any form of meditation. And I would say that's what the process of listening is. It's a reconnection with deeper nature.
I got chills.
Hope I'm making sense, but it's a difficult thing to convey sometimes.
And what I also come to understand is that many people and also women having challenges of perimenopause or menopause actually avoided listening to their bodies. I'm not saying all of them, but the student who came to me and I helped, once they learned to listen to their bodies with a breathing or maybe music through music or whatever the medium that is, do you have any suggestion for women to pick their own music to feel better, for heal better or quicker?
I would say that a good measure that I found was listen very widely. And,
That's interesting.
but also listen not just to music, just be quiet in yourself. And as you go about your day, a good exercise is just be incredibly quiet, as quiet as you can be, and simply listen. I would say that all music exists in the infinite space of deep quietness. And music is the celebration of life and it is the joy of being. So that when you mentioned earlier that wonderful way of putting it, that sometimes you just want to move, sometimes you just want to dance and
Yeah.
feel that physicality. So it's not all about this weighty sitting quietly like a monk, which can be immensely healing, but it can be, I just need to move. I just need to walk and listen as I walk, or I want to feel that pulse. And there have been so many times, whether in listening to music as live performance or just hearing something for the first time, where I've been absolutely moved to tears. Sometimes tears of joy, tears of recognition and understanding. But there is an effect that often happens with me and other people I've spoken with, where you can feel this almost like a movement of energy in your neck, where it's like a tingling, almost like possibly related to chakras or movement of energy in the nervous system.
Wow, that's amazing and profound in a sense that it's really understanding yourself. the journey toward yourself at every moment of our changes and transformation. Whenever I take a walk, I listen to the birds and the bees, and that's so fascinating.
Music essentially is the movement from the silent. There can be bursts of sound, there can be noise, but it can be callous and superficial. I think it sometimes comes down to intention. The intention of nature when we're walking across a field, we're listening to all of the sounds very attentively. There's no intention other than to be. It's pure being. The birds sing for all kinds of reasons. And there's some fascinating research on birdsong, which I won't go into now.
Yes.
But the
We can do
scientific
the totally
analysis of
different
birdsong has been
episode.
it is mind blowing. As much as anything, it's nature simply being. I would hope that anyone viewing our conversation today would actually just dive into it and experience it, and not only from that deep listening point of view, and not only listening to the music that I've deliberately made for meditation and being really as truthful and as authentic as I could be. Obviously, music in a way is breaking silence. And so I think with that comes a huge responsibility. And I don't think AI or many other forms of music take that responsibility as seriously and as gently and as carefully and as thoughtfully as it might be. It can be offensive. It can be irritable. There's all kinds of ways of interrupting silence.
Yes.
But we're all creators. And when we attune to our creative capacity, that also is an amazingly healing thing.
From the breaking the silence to the music, and so surrendering, and also appreciate the act of creation or creating. Even though we are not I'm not a musician or I'm not a composer or whatever, but just something when you listen and be quiet, and then something happens coming through you. And I think for me and for many of the listeners, you might listen to some music today or going out for a walk and listen to the nature, or you are having a practicing meditation, but you get some of the learning that we shared with this Stewart conversation, that okay, what I'm looking for, what do I want, or how do I want to feel right now?
Mm-hmm.
And is there any last word that you want to share with listener or viewers?
Musicians and listeners alike may discover the depth and beauty of their own nature, discover their own well-being and the healing power of life's resonances. And I think that's true. I think we've both been dancing with today in a verbal way, that it's that simplicity of being that comes from surrendering to just listening, deep inner listening, which is listening within and without. For me, when I've been moved by music, when I've been healed by music, when I'm involved in honoring the creative process myself, there's so much beauty. There's so much of a loving nature at the heart of it. That is our humanity. That is what we are. And that I find so inspiring.
I think today's episode was such a profound understanding of what's the real essence from the real expert. But for women experiencing perimenopause and menopause, I think also this episode, when you listen to it, you get some of the feeling. Okay, I resonate with some part. And then the different perspective that you will get to understand or calling from you to be quiet and find your own path. Thank you so much,
Thank
Stuart,
you
for
so
all
much. Thank you.
your insight and wisdom.
I
Thank
thoroughly
you.
enjoyed it.
Here's the exciting part. I have a special gift for you that can truly make a difference in your life. It's my free guide called Unlocking the 5 Hidden Gems for Perimenopause Symptoms Relief. This guide empowers you to find natural relief and unleash your inner radiance without relying on supplements or hormones. Inside, you'll discover the secrets to naturally finding relief from your symptoms. I'll guide you through challenges that are often misunderstood, helping you find effective solutions that have worked for many women just like you. Imagine saying goodbye to restless nights and those annoying hot flashes, and embracing life with renewed energy and vibrancy. What would that look like for you? This guide is your first step toward menopause revolution. Click the link in the description below to instantly access your free guide and join me on this amazing journey to your vibrant self in your prime years. Thank you so much for watching, and I can't wait to see you in my next video. Bye!